How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Tacoma Beast channel. Today we'll be working on Project Great White and we'll be showing you two must-have interior light mods for your Toyota Tacoma. Project Great White is our 10-year anniversary overland build, which will take 10 months to be completed. The series will consist of installs and reviews of all the products that will be installed on this truck until it turns into the ultimate overland Tacoma. Towards the end of it all, we'll be giving it away to one lucky winner. All right, let's take a look at the first mod on our list, and that's gonna be our Tacoma Beast interior light kit. I really think Toyota should have given us this mod from factory. I've been rocking it on our 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma for the past 3 years and I absolutely love it. It wasn't until I got in this stock white Tacoma that I realized how bad the interior lights really are. Toyota really threw us a bone here. Our Tacoma Beast interior light kits include 5500 Kelvin map lights. You're gonna receive 2 of those, 1 dome light, 4 vanity lights, and then as a bonus, you're gonna receive 2 license plate lights. Just take a look at how yellow and extremely dim these lights are. Just being here, I can barely see anything. When I'm driving up to my house and it's time to pick up my phone, my wallet, or anything that might be on the car, I do have a hard time seeing those things. It is uncomfortable to my eyes. That's the best way I can describe it. Having brighter lights and rocking those for 3 years now, I've really been spoiled. So interior light kits is definitely a must. Installation is extremely easy, should not take you more than 15 to 20 minutes. If you guys want to skip to the installation process, then check out the chapter markers below. Next on our list is the Vled's Footwell kit. This is a kit I'm really excited about. The sweet thing about this kit is there's no splicing or cutting required, and installation is extremely easy. All the wiring on it will be hidden and you will not see it. There's going to be 2 settings to this. You're going to have a high setting, which will be activated once you unlock your vehicle and open the doors, welcoming you into the vehicle. Really nice. Once you're inside and you have either your parking lights or your headlights on, then it will dim to a nice ambient light inside the cab. We also offer these lights in different color options. We have aqua blue, dark blue, and red, giving you that nice feel like you're inside a submarine or a tank. I do have to let you guys know though, those light options will not be nearly as bright as the white option that we have here, giving you that nice 5500 Kelvin bright white light that we all like. Before we jump into this install, let's see what comes inside the box. We will be selling these 2 products together as a combo. It's going to be called the Ultimate Interior Light Kit Combo. I did forget to mention the interior light kit is available in green. It's really cool. Again, gives you that nice tank interior feeling, but it will never be as bright as our white interior light kit. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what comes inside the bag. Here you're going to receive your 2 map lights, 4 vanity lights, your dome light, and then 2 additional license plate lights. Inside the Footwell kit, you will be receiving 2 LED light bars. This was gonna light the Footwell. Then on this bag right here, you're gonna have your breakout harness. This is what we're gonna be using to get power into the kit. Then you're gonna have a T adapter, and this is gonna be optional for those of you that have the MISO pod lights. 2 pin plugs that will be connected to your breakout harness, 1 zip tie. Then on your next bag, you're gonna have the dimmer, which you will also be connecting to your T adapter and breakout harness, and then 2 extensions. And then on this last bag, you're gonna have a bunch of 3M tape and zip ties along with a screwdriver to help you with this installation. Once again, fellas, you could get this kit as a combo and get a nice sweet deal, or you guys can go for the individual Vled Footwell kit or the interior light kit. But honestly, if you want the interior of your vehicle to be extremely bright, I recommend you guys go for the combo. The tools that you're gonna need are the following: a microfiber towel, flathead screwdriver or a pry tool, scissors or wire cutters, a 10mm socket and a wrench, and some tape. All right, so the first product we're gonna be installing from our combo is the interior light kits. It's extremely easy, your grandma can do it. First thing we're gonna do is install the map lights. So you're gonna need a pry tool or a flathead screwdriver. We're not using our pry tool because it was too thick. I found that this fits right in. Put it in nicely, make sure you don't scratch the bezel. Just like that, plastic cover comes right off. And then to remove the bulb, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can actually reach in here and pull this entire assembly out, which I don't recommend. A lot of you will break all the tabs that are in there. In order to not remove the entire assembly, what you're gonna do is grab a piece of tape. We're going to make a burrito, but we're going to make sure that the sticky part remains in the inside. So we have this right here. And then the goal is gonna be for the bulb to go in there. The second it's about halfway through, or if you manage to make the whole bulb go in there, We're going to squish it lightly, and that way it's gonna hug the bulb, and then we're gonna pull it out. This might take a couple tries. It's gonna be hard to get it on the first one. It is hard to hug the bulb. Oh, and it worked out on the first time. Now that the stock bulb is out, it's time for us to install our map lights. Make sure that if it's not going in, you apply a little bit of pressure. Don't push really hard. You can blow a fuse if you do that. And it's in. Once it's in, before you put the cover back on, you have to test and make sure that it does work. And it does. So we're good to put the cover back on. All you gotta do is the same way it came out, push it back in, and it's good to go. You guys can clearly see here the difference. We do have lights inside here so you guys can see clearly, but we're gonna have the camera go around so you can see this. By simply changing one map light, we can already see a huge difference here. Take a look at the driver's side versus the passenger side. Driver's side has a much nicer ambient light, and you can already see it's much brighter. Now that we have one map light installed, it's time to do the same thing on the other side, and you're gonna wanna repeat that same process. So that works. In case you try it and it does not turn on, all you have to do is remove the bulb, reverse the polarity, put it back on, and it should work. Once you've tested to make sure everything works properly, we can put the light cap back on by simply pushing it in. Just like that, you have your map lights installed. Now it's time for us to install the dome light. It's really easy. You're gonna use your pry tool or your flathead screwdriver. You have these inserts right here that allow you to put it in, and then just pry that open. You have one on one side and on the other, and the cover should come right off. And then you have the bulb in there. Make sure it's off. You don't want to blow a fuse. There's no need to disconnect the battery for these bulbs. Here you have this tab that you can push back, and the bulb should come right out like that. And then the same way that bulb came out, we're gonna install our new one. Test to see if they turn on, and they do. I'm gonna put the cover back on. It's time for us to install the vanity lights, the ones that are gonna allow you to make sure you're looking good for those dates. There's gonna be two inserts, one on this side, one on the other. You're gonna insert your flathead screwdriver or your pry tool. You're gonna pop that right out. Then on the other side, same thing. Comes right out. Make sure you start from the bottom. Don't start from the top. It will not come out. And then that will expose your vanity lights. So here, you're gonna use your pry tool to kind of bring those out. And this is how they look. And then you're gonna get the supplied new updated vanity bulbs. We're gonna put them right in. If they don't turn on, you're just gonna simply remove them and flip them around. Boom. That is extremely bright. Now it's time for us to install the other side. Make sure they're off. You also want to make sure the LEDs are facing you and not the other side. And there we go. Just like that, the vanity lights are installed. You just get the caps, pop them back in, just like that. We're good to go. We've gone ahead and installed the vanity lights on the passenger side using the same process that I showed you on the driver's side. Take a look at how much brighter it got inside the cab right now compared to the stock kit that we had before. As you guys just saw, it's extremely bright in there. Right now, we're gonna go ahead, pop the hood open, and we're gonna install the VLEDs. I stand corrected, I was calling it VLEDs, but it's actually VLEDs Footwell kit. And in order to install these, we're gonna open up the hood and we're going to remove the negative terminal on the battery because we are going to be working with the airbags. We do not want those to pop in our face. Now you're gonna use a 10mm socket and wrench to remove the negative terminal. Now we're going to use our pry tool to remove the SRS airbag cover. Here you want to be careful that you don't scratch it. It's gonna stay hanging like that. And then we're going to use our 10mm socket to remove this bolt. So you guys can see this is a long bolt, so make sure you're patient. There's a washer in here, so make sure that doesn't fly out. Now that the bolt is off, we're gonna remove the A-pillar trim piece. You're gonna start at the top. There's one small tab there that you're gonna hear pop. No need to rip it off. And then we're gonna take all this off, just like that. Make sure that when you're pulling this tab off, you don't pull on the airbag. This is the reason why we disconnected the battery, so that this does not pop in our face. Now we're going to use wire cutters or scissors to cut the zip tie that's holding the wire harness to the A-pillar. Here you're gonna wanna be extremely careful not to cut the wire harness. Remove the cable tie holder. We're gonna set it off to the side. Do not throw it away. We will be using it towards the end. So using the supplied screwdriver, I've gone ahead and removed this clip. You don't have to do this. We're doing it so that you can see how we're going to remove the plug, the male plug from the female plug on this connector. I simply pushed down on this tab right here and right here, and it came off the A-pillar. And now we're going to show you what you actually have to do. So you don't have to remove this connector. This will always stay in there. Now it would be easier if you remove this in order to reach in there. I was able to do it without removing this connector, but we're doing it so you guys can see what's going to happen. So using the screwdriver, you're going to insert it behind this catch on the male pin. You're going to push down, and as you're pushing down on this, you're going to grab this tab on this side and push in and pull upward, removing the male harness from the female. Once the male connector has been removed, you also need to make sure that the female connector is removed from this tab. Now don't forget, this tab is always going to be connected to your A-pillar, right? We just removed it so that we could play around with the cable and show you. This was a bit of a tedious task to remove from this tab. All you have to make sure you do is use the supplied screwdriver. You're going to insert it here and push outward. So you're pushing outward on this tab, and that should disconnect it. Now we're going to use the provided breakout harness to tap into the power source. We're gonna get our breakout harness, and we're gonna use the male connector to connect it to the OEM female connector. Make sure it clicks, and then the other end will connect to the female connector as well. Make sure you click. Really cool thing about this is they've designed this harness to fit back into the OEM tab that's connected to the A-pillar. So we're gonna slide that in. And then this should look like this to you guys. At this stage, you should be left with this connector from the breakout harness. This next step is for those of you that have the Miso custom puddle pods. This T adapter will connect to the breakout harness, and then one of these you can connect to the puddle pods and the other one to our Footwell. Again, this is optional, only for those of you that have that system already installed. For those of you that don't have that installed, we're gonna be moving to installing the Footwell harness. Now we're going to connect the 2-pin plug harness that's supplied to the breakout harness. This is really easy. Once you have connected the 2-pin plugs to the breakout harness, you're going to route the cable down through the A-pillar at the bottom. You're gonna push it all the way down. Once it gets to halfway, or you feel like it's gone through, you're going to fish it with your hands on the other side, like this, enough to where you can see that you have no more harness to go. You can clearly see them down here. One thing that was really useful was having this light on my phone. I put it up here, so that allowed me to see where it was that the cable was gonna have to go through up top. All right, now it's time for us to install the dimmer. from the cables that you have hanging here, get the shorter connector. We're gonna connect that to the longer wire that's labeled high on the dimmer. And then we're gonna get the longer connector, connect that to the shorter wire labeled low. Then one thing to note, guys, this plus or minus here is to adjust the low ambient setting on this kit. The high setting you won't be able to adjust. That one you want it to be as bright as possible, welcoming you to the vehicle. And then once it turns into the low dim setting, you will be able to adjust that, pre-adjust that to what you like, depending whether you think it's too bright as you're driving around or whatnot. You're gonna come in here with the supplied screwdriver, adjust that, make sure you're very careful. It's one click, so adjust every click to the setting that you like. I'm gonna leave it how it is now. This is the one that's recommended, but in case you guys want to change, just know that that's what that's for. Now we're gonna get the factory cable tie holder that I told you to hold off towards the beginning of the video. We're going to remove the zip tie that we cut off, and then the supplied zip tie that comes in your kit, you're going to feed through that same area. And then we're gonna install it back on the same way that we had it before we removed it. So right now we're just gonna clip this on, this bracket that they have here. And then we're going to make sure this wire harness is sitting nice and flush before we zip tie it. And now all we need to do is cut this excess off. A few things to take note: make sure you're not pinching the airbag. Everything is the way it was supposed to be. And then check out the cable work that we did here. You're gonna wanna have it like this in order for everything to fit nice and snug. In order to install the A-pillar trim piece, you're gonna wanna start from the bottom and work your way to the top. It is extremely important that you make sure at the bottom it's sitting nice and flush. Once that's flush, you can work your way up to the top. One way to guide yourself is making sure that you're aligning this side of the A-pillar trim piece with the weather strip. Tuck that in. Use your flathead screwdriver if you need to kind of make sure that weather strip is sitting nice and flush, and everything goes back together the way it did from factory. All right, now it's time for us to install that bolt, and we're done with this section. Now we're going to use the washer that came originally and the bolt to screw this back on. Hand tight first, and then you're gonna use a 10mm socket and wrench to tighten it. Doesn't need to be extremely tight. We're good to go. Now we just have to connect the battery back on, and we'll move on to the next step. Now we're gonna get the dimmer, and we're gonna use the supplied 3M tape. It's already been pre-cut to the exact measurements. Make sure the back part is nice and clean. We're gonna install this 3M on the dimmer, and then I'm gonna show you right now. You're gonna wanna put it inside here. Peel back the 3M tape from the dimmer, and we're going to be installing it right on the fuse box. Now we're going to grab the oval 3M tape, and we're going to be attaching it to the light bar here. Make sure it's aligned. We're going to repeat the same process on the second light bar that you will be receiving. Now we're going to use rubbing alcohol to clean the surface of the dash, and make sure the cables are facing backwards before you apply the light bar on the dash. Now we're going to get the female connector from the light bar, and we're going to connect it to the dimmer. As you guys can see, turned right on. All right, I'm loving how these lights look. I'm gonna close the door so we go through some of these features, but before we do that, I do want to mention they're blue. I totally mentioned that they were gonna be white at the beginning of this video, and forgot that we decided to go with blue to show you how they match with all the lights on the buttons here. They match, so it gives it a really nice theme. As you guys just saw, the lights went off. It also made our Footwell lights go off, and you can still see the light down there. It's a nice ambient light that once it's fully dark, you'll be able to see a little bit more. Again, you can adjust that setting. You can make it brighter if you want it to be brighter, or less bright if you think that that's too much. I think that's the perfect setting, especially for night driving. The second we open the door, Boom, the footwells turn back on. Absolutely love it. Now it's time for us to install the other side, and we're gonna do that with the 4 feet extension cord that we're gonna run through the back of the dash on the other side, and I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. All right, so we just grabbed our 4-foot extension. We're gonna be connecting that to the connector that's left over from our light bar. There you go. Once that's connected, we're going to push the wire to the other side of the center console. But first we're gonna push back this fabric. I've left the light on the other side so you guys can see that this is gonna be easy, and you can just basically push the wire through until it reaches the other side. I'm gonna go fish it on the other side now. Put this fabric back on. Make sure that it's nice and hidden in the back. All right, so I'm just gonna pull back this fabric. You can see the cables right there. Pull it until it's nice and tight. Now it's time for us to install the second light bar. First thing we're gonna do is make sure the surface is nice and clean with some rubbing alcohol. Peel back that 3M tape. Don't forget, you wanna make sure the cables are facing backwards. And I would advise that you place it the furthest towards the back. From here, we're going to connect our extension, and they should light up. Perfect. Now you can push back this leftover wire in there, and then later we'll use the provided zip ties to hide all this away. This right here is in case you guys want to use footwells for the back. Again, we're gonna have to hide this cable with zip ties because for now I only want to rock the front footwells. Final step is just cable management. I'm not gonna show you how to do this. Everyone is OCD in their own little way. So take your time, use the zip ties provided, and make it happen. All right, I've already done this side, time to do the next one. Before I let you guys go, I am gonna tell you my final thoughts of the overall process. For those of you that made it this far, as a bonus, we're gonna be showing you how to install the license plate lights that come with our ultimate interior light kit. Let's come down here. As you guys can see, the light is right here. We're gonna be reaching in there. You're gonna push inward and then counterclockwise, and you're gonna push out. This is gonna come out. As you guys can see, the bulb is in here. We're just gonna take that out. We're gonna get the bulb that is supplied with your kit. That right in, and then we're gonna pop it back inside its socket. Same way it came out, you're gonna put it back in. There we go. We repeated the same process that I showed you on the other side, and just like that, your license plate lights are installed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're inside the cab right now. I had all the lights in our warehouse turned off. Every single light here, the map light, the dome light, the vanity lights, and the Footwell kit is on right now, and I absolutely love it. I love the ambient light down there. That's nice aqua blue. It matches all of the buttons and all the layout on the truck. Really, really nice touch. Finally, us Toyota Tacoma owners are able to enjoy what, you know, VW owners, Mercedes owners, Audi owners have had for the past few years. We've never had this, and we're now able to have Footwell light kit, nice interior lights that really light up the truck. You guys enjoy this video, check out our new ultimate interior light kit combo. Help out our channel. It's the best bang for the buck out there. Really high quality lights. You guys enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.